Hi, my name is Corinne Bloom, and I'm a life coach, mentor, and relationship expert. And I want to talk to you a little bit about couples coaching. So, often when people come to me, they are obviously in a place of feeling either they're in a crisis or they're stuck and they're wanting to work on the relationship. And what most often happens in relationships is that we are both individuals are fighting for their truth. I'm right, you're wrong. This is what I need. This is you're not giving me what you need. There's almost a conflict of, I don't want to say a conflict of interest, but we are fighting up against one another. And often in that conflict of feeling like you don't see me, you don't get me, you don't understand me, you don't hear me, we create a divide, we create separation. And the first thing that I will do with couples is to find a point of, I often refer to it as coming to the table. Coming to the table, meeting each other halfway, and creating that point of connection. And a lot of it comes down to learning new communication skills. And communication is something that really we all need to work on. We're not taught this in school, unfortunately. So it's something that we're kind of learning on the job, so to speak. But what my job is to bring both of your truths to the table in such a way that it can be expressed so that the other person can hear it, understand it, even have maybe compassion and empathy for what's going on for us. But what it also requires is that each individual, that we go a little bit beneath the surface, because often what happens is we're just in this kind of triggered state of attack and defense, and we go into the story of it and we repeat the same arguments and the same patterns and nothing changes, because there's always something underneath the surface that is actually the driving force. So a quick example is if I have a fear of not being seen, then I will come in, and if my partner's watching television, for instance, it will really trigger that, like, you don't see me. And if you don't see me, you don't love me. And if you don't love me, then I'm alone and I feel abandoned. And so I'll get triggered just because maybe he didn't look at me in that moment and say hello when I came into the house. So there are these little instances that can really trigger something that is happening on a much deeper emotional level. And when we unveil that and our partner can see that, we have a greater understanding of why we're getting into these arguments, why we're getting into these dynamics. And when we can really go into the deeper part of our emotional world, and one major aspect is we all as individuals need to take responsibility, and we need to work within ourselves on the places that we need to give ourselves love. But then also, if our partner can see that, not that it's their responsibility to fix us or heal us or make us better, but they can understand, in this moment, this is actually what's really going on. And it's really about creating the bridge back to one another where we can feel each other's humanity again. Because it's really easy to get cold and distant and mean and feel like sometimes we're living in a house with a ghost. It can be really, that severing can make it really hard to come back to each other and see each other for just being human beings, and that we all need kindness and love and a sense of feeling of safety. So my role is to hold the space, the safe space, for you both to be able to feel like you can share your truth, and to learn how to communicate in ways where you can be heard, where you can feel seen, where you can feel understood, even if you're completely different from each other, that there's still a middle ground and that there's a way of communicating. And also understanding for both of you how you love each other and how you receive love, because we all have a different kinesiology. Some people feel loved by showing, by giving things. Some people feel loved by hearing things. Some people feel loved by touch. And often we're in relationships where we're different. We can be different. And so we think, well, I'm showing you all of this love. I'm doing all of these things for you. And the other person's going, yeah, but that's not how I receive love. That isn't as nice, but it's not really what I'm wanting or needing. So we also need to understand the language of love that we each individually hold. So it's really about coming back to a place of neutrality where both perspectives can be held, and finding really kind, loving, compassionate ways to speak to each other. And I'm really here to just hold the space without judgment and to help reconnect you both. And then you see, that you see whether the relationship continues, or maybe the best decision is to separate. But even that can be done in a really beautiful, conscious, kind, gentle way, where we don't have to be in trauma or drama, and that we can actually take the experience of being in relationship as a gift, as a way of learning and growing and evolving as human beings. So I hope that's been helpful. If you're interested in learning more and having couples coaching, then please feel free to sign up for your free 20-minute phone consultation. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have there. And in the meantime, I wish you well on your journey.